All right, another short little video here for Python lesson 4, which involves doing your choose your own adventure story. Now, this is just going to be a very short little thing. I'm just going to explain a few items here as I go through my story. The big thing is try not to make it too complex, because what we're doing is pretty just using if and else if and things like that. It becomes a little bit more challenging if you make the story very complicated. So we're going to bring in two modules here. And one of them is random, which we haven't seen, and the other is our good friend time. And so my story here, pretty basic. I'm going to bring in the player name. So I'm just going to input, and just ask what, well, I said welcome, what is your name? And you could elaborate, right? This is just an example. So they're going to be able to put their name in, and therefore I'll be able to use their name in the story. So print. Let's just do a print statement. You are standing on a corner. Okay, so you're standing on a street corner. And I'll just put in a time.sleep just for a second. Okay, and what else should we do then? So that just gives it, pauses it for a second there. Suddenly, and then I'm going to use the F string here. So suddenly, suddenly, someone yells. Oh my gosh, someone yells. And then we're going to do here your name. So player name. Okay, so that's going to go player name. So they're going to yell that, and I forgot the end of my quotation. So pretty straightforward here, right? Just to sum the story. And then I'm going to get you to do something. So I'm just going to put another time.sleep. And just for 1 second again. And then here, right, I might be able to say something like, do you? Okay, so print, do you? And then, so I'm going to put in, again, another time.sleep. About 10 seconds. And then these are going to be your choices here. So do you print a, say hello. And then I'll do another time.sleep. 1 second. And then print B. So they got a choice here. Ignore and move along. So this is the choice here. So what we're going to do is let them do the input. So we'll just do like we did with the question. So answer is equal to input. So what should we say here? Something like enter your response. Okay, now they can do their input. So it becomes a little bit more of a situation where we have to sort of branch this. So if answer is equal to A, and we can put or whatever, that will be something. So I'm going to do that. Now, what you'll notice, of course, it tabs in, right? It's in a little bit further. I'm going to come down a little bit and put in the other one here too, because the other branch is going to be else if. We'll just do answer is equal to B, right? Then something else will happen. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to think about what's going to happen if they say B. Okay, so if they say they ignore and move along, maybe the story ends. So I'm just going to put a print here. You simply carry on with your life. The end. So that's the end of one branch, okay? So if they just choose to ignore, that's the end of the story, basically. Okay? Now I think this is unhappy. Yeah, I think it's unhappy because I just haven't done anything here. So let me come back to this. And so let's say you say hello. Okay. You say hello. Okay. And then what happens next? So let's just do a sleep. Oops, time.sleep. And so maybe with another second here. And then, so the man says, I have $10,000 in my pocket. And so he says that, and then he says print, guess which pocket, left or right. Right, so the person's going to answer that left or right. Now, so we'll do an input here again. So let's say we can call this answer again or whatever. I'm just going to call it pocket guess. So that's a bit more specific here. So input, and then maybe just say enter left or right. Okay, so the person is going to type in either left or right. Now, we don't always want it to be the same. So what I'm going to do is create a little randomness here. And so I'm going to call it the lucky pocket. Okay, so the lucky pocket is going to be, I'm going to create a random dot rand int. And it's either going to pick 1 or 2. Okay, so that's sort of the choice there. And so it will randomly choose either 1 or 2. And so I don't even really care what the person chose here. We're just going to randomly select one of these pockets. So we've got a 50-50 chance. So if, I'm going to put here, lucky pocket is equal to 1, okay, then we'll make them win, okay? So we'll say here, print, you guess the correct pocket, and walk away with $10,000. All right, so that maybe is part of it. And I spelled lucky wrong. And then the other one, right? So I'm just going to put an else here. Because if we didn't get it, right, they're not going to get the money. So print, and we'll just say, whoops, sorry, that is the wrong pocket. However, it was nice talking to you. And we'll put in player name there. Now I'm going to have to go back and make this an F string there, because it will get upset. There we go. Okay, there we go. So there's the story. Okay, pretty straightforward. Obviously you can make it more interesting. So let's just run it and make sure. Okay, so what is your name? Bob. You're sitting on a corner. Someone yells, Bob. Do you say hello or ignore and move along? So let's just try B. That should end the story. I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. You simply carry on with your life. The end. Okay, perfect. Let's try it again. So what is your name? Bob. Standing on a corner, someone says your name. Do you? A, say hello or move along. Enter your response. So let's go A this time. You say hello. The man says, I have $10,000 in my pocket. Guess which pocket, left or right? Enter left or right. Well, let's go left. You guess the correct pocket and walk away with $10,000. Yay! Okay, now you should try it again just to make sure. Now, random, so might have to try a few times. So let's say hello again. Now, it doesn't matter if I hit left or right. So this one, good. Sorry, that is the wrong pocket. However, it was nice talking to you, Bob. Okay, so that's the idea of the story. Pretty straightforward, okay? There's a little bit of chance. So that's what I'm going to want, is that you have a bit of an element of chance. This is a 50-50%. I'll talk about in class how we could make it, whatever, 80-20, 90-10, whatever you want to do there, okay, in terms of chance. If you want to make your story a little bit more complex, you're going to have to be a little careful as you sort of indent in, right? So this is sort of the branch here. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about in class. But if I had another choice, you can see here, this if is inside here, and then this if is one more in. And if you wanted another situation, we'd be indented one more in. And as you can see, that probably isn't the best thing, because eventually you get so far indented and things get a little bit confusing. So yeah, that's why I'm sort of saying this isn't the best way to do a story as you get more and more complex. But for our purposes, it will work out okay. All right, so good luck with your story. You can model it along this one or try to modify it to make it a little bit more interesting. And yeah, I'll look forward to reading and playing your stories.